Hi, good day everyone. As of today, we would like to continue our lecture for the QCB 1013, which is for physical geology. For those who had enrolled in the new course code, which is QDB, we will be using the same material with some improvements. Right, so basically this topic is actually materials are part of the marine coastal and delta sustainability for Southeast Asia, short term as MARE, a project that is funded by Erasmus plus the program under European Union. So students are reminded that all the files and attachment that shared with you by your course lecturer is solely for the educational purposes and your personal and private study only. Therefore, it cannot be shared on any website without the permission or authorizations of the copyright owner. So today our aim is to learn about the coastal morphology. So basically the learning outcomes for this is the students will be able to describe and able to detect based on the map and also the satellite image or aerial view image as what we have seen over here to detect the different coastal morphology. So where is the locations of our coastal? So it's easy to be indicated by the beaches that we have. But basically this coastal area or our beaches are actually dominated either by the tidal current or dominated either by the river influence that actually flowing the sediments from the inland area towards the sea. So this is where we have our river over here. This is where we have our river, and the river actually runs through delta environment. So in the delta, it will become a branching area. So throughout these sections, we have all the beaches, like the shore face. So some parts of the beaches are actually exposed to the wave and storm, especially in the nearby the open sea. And then it is also dominated by rivers or dominated by the fluctuations of the tidal currents. So here is an example from in the area of east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, where you can see there we put on some structures, civil structures. This is as mitigations or one of the way to actually reduce the coastal erosions that occur throughout these beaches. You can see the civil structures is not one, but actually it is installed at several locations throughout the beaches. So this is why it is actually very important before we install any kind of civil structures to reduce the coastal erosion. We need to know what is the morphology or the characteristics of our coastal systems. So the coastal hazard is actually a physical phenomena that is actually happen naturally. Sometimes it will be more induced or exaggerated by the human development. So this phenomena expose the coastal area to property damage, loss of life, and also environmental degradations. But in Malaysia, as an example, we have a heavy storm and also monsoons every year, and it is actually coming in quite seasonal. So our coastal area, especially in the east coast, have been exposed to major cyclones or major typhoons sometimes, and will be accompanied by high winds, wave, and sometimes very high or high levels of the wave. So this which actually create some slow onsets of the hazards, and this hazard is actually continuous and increasing every year to year if we do not do more mitigations towards it. So in certain area in the world, we have induced some of the coastal erosions through tsunamis, through subland earthquakes and submarine earthquakes, and also landslide. So this is a figure showing when people build house or structures or buildings in the coastal area, and the vegetations are losing the sands, so we can see their erosions are actually very high over these areas. So there are several types of hazards that can be dominated within our coastal area. This is actually some of the normal phenomena factor, or the geographical factor will be related to sea level rise, where the sea level rise will quicken by the climate change, and this will increase the height of the tides and storm. Hence, it will cause some of the flooding in the floodplains to grow and increase over time. We also have erosions, coastal erosions, which actually loss of the large amount of sand, and then our beaches become shorter and shorter. So this is in area where we have critical erosion areas, the rates of erosions is usually above the certain threshold. And at this point, we need to increase the amount of sedimentations that coming in and being transported to the beaches, so that we can actually keep up with the rate of erosions that happening. We also have coastal hazard coming in from storm events, as I mentioned, through the winds, through the monsoons. We also have effects if the coastal areas are being flooded. So this flooding which usually come during the tidal flooding or by the severe weather, high amounts of rain coming in, and then this will actually couple effect with the sea level rise. So how do we actually mitigate or help to slow down the coastal hazards? So one of it is by doing the beach nourishments, which is also referred to the replenishment of the beach, or actually we add more sand to the beach, because as we know, coastal erosions, they use a lot of the sand. They actually we lost the amount of sand, so now we actually bring in new sand and then put it in towards the beach. So this strategy will actually entails the placement of the sand directly onto the beach, and this is either by using conventional earth moving techniques or by pumping the sand to restore the adequate erosion buffer and foreshore. So not just that, we also use some structures such as groin. So groin is the perpendicular structures along the shore that will become a protection structures. So groins, we have a lot of examples of groins in our in Malaysia, in fact, such as in Kuala Terengganu Airport. So the sand dunes will be on one side of the groin, and the other side will be less exposed. So, however, we have to actually observe and mitigate if these groin structures might actually induce or increase another coastal erosions in the different sides of this beach, because this is actually what happened in our country. We put in these structures to protect beach A, but eventually the wave moved towards beach B, and we have increase in coastal erosions in the beach B. So another examples, if we create jetties, so this is not just becoming this is like one of the common things. So jetties will be completely interrupt and or redirect the longshore current, so just acted as a groin, but it accumulates longer and further. So another examples is when we have perpendicular structures like both one and so I have talked about this just now. Another examples is we use the parallel structures such as bulkhead, where it's actually a retaining wall that within a ship or a watershed that retains the wall, so it might be used to contain the flood, to avoid the flood to go further. This is another examples is we use the refinements. So we install some structures such as the rubbles or interlocking concrete, or we put in some gabion mattress as a revetment at the foot of a dike. So this actually can help to reduce or actually prolong the durations taken for the coastal hazards to actually took place. We can actually do it in area where we have hard rocks like dikes, or in area that we have sand dunes. So we have actually more, but we will stop it from here and we will continue it later with some more examples within our countries. So with that, thank you.